tell you what, if this wind that we have today here right now blowing in downtown Indiana, if that keeps up all day long, makes its way over to Altoona, there could be some baseballs flying out of PNG Field tonight when Altoona takes on the Erie Seawolves. Jon Mozes is on the line with us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. You wouldn't mind that much, John, would you, if the wind knocked a few balls out of the park tonight?
Oh, that'd be pretty fun. I don't think the Curve have hit it. Oh, they hit a home run last night. I was just thinking out loud. But been a little quiet at the ballpark, unfortunately, in terms of offense this week.
It has, and it's puzzling because we know these are talented guys and they can swing the stick a little bit. So what's going on with the hitters?
It's a good question. I think Erie has just had really good pitching for 3 days in a row here to start the series. Good to see Lolo Sanchez get it going. A couple multi-hit games already in this series. His third home run of the season came last night. And, Lolo's one of those guys who I think is a little underappreciated because, he doesn't have huge power, but, man, he made a great throw to cut down a run at home plate to end the eighth inning last night. He's got the skills. And he's one of those guys that Altoona's going to need a contribution from if they're going to win in the second half.
It's kind of interesting to me. If you're watching the team that's playing at PNC Park right now, you're hearing names like Mitchell and Smith and Jigba, Sawinski, Marcano. These are fellas who have played very, very recently for the Altoona Curve. Those fellas who are on the Curve roster right now have to take notice of things like that.
Oh, it's great. We've had 8 players already make their Major League debut for the first time, 8 different alumni just this season, in 2.5 months or about 3 months worth of play, including a couple of guys that happened back-to-back days, Kanan Smith and Jigba and catcher Jason DeLay. We talked a little bit some of this like last year when it came with Rodolfo Castro where, seeing somebody recalled to the Major League roster and a little bit earlier this year with Jack Sawinski, it's a good reminder to some of the younger guys that are in that clubhouse that it can happen quick and it can happen right here from Altoona. You're really just that close to the big leagues. So it's been pretty exciting watching the Pirates, and hopefully they can string a few more wins together with the young guys.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to me as well to look at that Altoona roster with Quinn Priester now joining the team and getting the start coming up on Sunday. You've got the 2019, 2020, and 2021 first-round draft choices all on the Curve roster.
Yeah, and, we're hopeful that all 3 of those guys can suit up at the same time. Nick Gonzalez still working his way back from the injured list. But very excited to see Priester make his debut on Sunday. I've been told that it's a really exciting profile. Some of the same characteristics as Rowanzi Contreras, where he's got 3+ pitches and has the ability to turn a lineup multiple times. It seems like he has the tools to be a major league starter. And, those are the toughest guys to develop. So excited to see his debut on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and one of the things that I find interesting just watching him on video is the delivery is so smooth. And I don't know from an organizational standpoint if the Pirates look at the way guys are throwing the baseball and they identify things that might help them to smooth out the delivery and maybe protect the arm a little bit or not. But Priester seems to be a guy that has a pretty good handle on the consistency of the delivery, and that's a pretty important thing.
Oh, absolutely. Consistency and simplicity. Throwing a baseball is a unnatural human motion in the first place. So the more you can do to simplify what how you are throwing the ball to make it more consistent, so you have the same arm path whenever you come through to throw the ball, it's just going to give you a better chance to be successful. And, he doesn't have to generate a whole bunch of motion in his full windup to generate the power and the high level velocity. That's a great sign. I mean, he's been blessed with a lightning rod on that right arm.
When you think of Quinn Priester and some of the other fellows on the Curve roster, and you consider a guy like Mike Burrows, who was called up to Indianapolis after his start the other day, and so he's a step closer to making it up to the major leagues. Do you ever look at those fellows and say and compare one guy's wind up and release point, all those different things. I know coaches do, but to another guy and say, well, body types and things like that, so that you can compare a pitcher to another pitcher?
I think there are certain things you look for to find that consistency. For me, I like to see simplicity in the delivery. A crazy front arm, or inconsistency in how quickly they work through their motion. Those can be indications that a player might have a hard time commanding and controlling the ball. But I think you sort of have to let each person be themselves, and not just because they might have a similar motion to, say, a Clayton Kershaw or a Josh Beckett, or somebody that you've grown to see in the majors. You have to sort of delineate it in your mind that you're not saying that he has the same tools and could be as good as that guy. So, I think it's always interesting to watch early, and you never know, because guys will make little adjustments here and there to make little changes that fit better for them.
Talking Altoona Curve pitching with Jon Mozes this morning. A bullpen game the other day, and the Curve has had some bullpen games, and I don't know that they've said that that's something they're going to do every week, but J.C. Flowers got the win in that one. When those fellas all know that they're going to throw an inning or two in these games, I'm sure that gets them all hepped up and might even change the way that they prepare for a game. But bullpen games are really interesting to watch, because the hitters really, they might set a win and be looking forward to a second or third at bat against a guy and never get to do that.
Yeah, part of the reason the Curve have had these bullpen games is, Kyle Nicholas went on the injured list, and they're starting to employ what can be interpreted as a fairly new pitching strategy. Similar to the way the Tampa Bay Rays have deployed their pitchers recently, where they have an opener and then a follower, somebody that they rely on for length, and then leverage guys at the back end of the bullpen to sort of handle the end of the game. The Curve have started to use some of those strategies, and that has, I think, made it a little bit difficult for opponents, because you might expect a left-hand starting pitcher, say in the case of Omar Cruz, but actually when you get the lineup card on the day of, it's somebody like Jon Mozes starting the game. So that's a much different preparation for opposing hitters. And the Pirates are just trying to find ways to be consistent in how they get 27 outs. There's more than one way to skin a cat, if I could borrow a phrase from Yankees manager Aaron Boone. It's just about getting to 27 outs consistently, and the Curve starting to use some of these strategies have actually seen some success with it.
Are there one or two guys coming out of that bullpen that sort of make your ears perk up when you see them come in?
Well, I'm hoping that Colin Selby is back soon. I mean, he has some incredible stuff. He throws in the high 90s with a great breaking ball. I've been pretty impressed with Sanaj Thomas this year. Obviously, he's worked as a starter in the past, and we have read stuff about him throwing 100 miles an hour, and this year he's sort of dialed it back a little bit so that he can command and control it a little bit better. And it seems like he's gotten back on track after a little bit of a rough stretch there in late May. I'm pretty excited about Tyler Samaniego, also left-hand reliever who the Curve got. This is now 2 weeks ago. He went 41 at bats between allowing a hit. When he was pitching at Greensboro, the last time he allowed a hit was April 15th, and then in his fourth appearance with Altoona last week in Reading, he finally gave up another one. Really intriguing stuff, and I think he's got a chance to pitch in the big leagues for a long time, because he can throw 95 miles an hour as a left-hander, and he's got a pretty big breaking ball. So there's some exciting guys in that bullpen that I think we'll see pop up in Pittsburgh in the next year or two.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. All right, Father's Day weekend at P&G Field. What are some of the things we're looking forward to?
Oh, man, we've got hockey night coming this weekend. We've got these specialty jerseys. They're blue and yellow with Curve written across the front, and you can actually take those jerseys home. There's a live jersey auction happening right now where you can go and bid on your favorite Curve player, and the Curve are going to wear these jerseys on Saturday night. The auction will take place until about Saturday during the game, about 8:15, 8:30 or so. So get those bids in now, because you could take home a Nick Gonzalez worn jersey or a Leover Figueroa worn jersey. We've also got post-game fireworks on Saturday night, and we'll be celebrating the 2017 Eastern League Championship tonight with a Loco bobblehead where he's waving the flag of the 2017 Eastern League Championship.
There you go. There you go. And Clint Hurdle coming to town, right?
Looking forward to that on Sunday. Yeah, as part of our faith night, Clint Hurdle will make a special appearance. He'll throw a ceremonial first pitch. I believe there may be a couple VIP packages still available, but you'll have to call our office to confirm. But there is a public meet and greet for Clint as well, and I've heard very good things about how nice he is. So I'm excited to meet him on Sunday.
There you go. Big weekend for the Altoona Curve against Erie, and it's all at PNG Field in Altoona. Jon Mozes, thanks so much for coming along for another visit today.
Thank you. Talk to you next week.
All right.
Talk to you next week.
All right. It is.